Hello, everyone. My name's Wyatt Jackson. You're listening to Adventures into Odyssey. Hello, everyone. You're listening to Adventures into Odyssey. I'm Wyatt Jackson, and I got new intro music, which is, really nice. A friend did it for me, and to him, I'm eternally grateful. So, I really got to have someone else on with me occasionally to host this show. Sounds so much better with two people, but oh well. For now, it'll do, just me. So, anyway, I want to apologize for not releasing anything last week. I was super busy, and I just didn't have the time, so my apologies for that, but I came back. And this week, I'm going to be reviewing episode 576, Prisoners of Fear, Part 3. It was written and directed by Marshall Younger, and it originally aired October 22nd, 2005. So we have much the same character, the same cast as we had last episode, except we don't have Aziz, the bad guy. We have Gobir, we have Kwame, we have Amon, Eugene, Katrina. No Roy Blasig, unfortunately. We have unnamed radio station guy, and we have Yosef. So, pretty small cast. So, okay. At least we don't have a wit intro. That's the one thing, because I remember Prisoners of Fear Part 1 had a wit intro, and that just really did not make any sense, seeing as, this story, takes place in the Congo, and Odyssey is Odyssey is, in Illinois or something. Okay, where is Odyssey? Okay, so I have the AO wiki pulled up, and it says location. Although the specific state containing Odyssey is never specified, the precursor ministries family portraits listed as Ohio. Okay, but that's not considered canon for AAO. However, they have lots of evidence. Odyssey is located in Midwestern region. It's located north of Tennessee and Ohio River. It's located between Cincinnati and the U.S.-Canada border. It's located west of West Virginia. It's located with overnight driving distance of Ashburn, Virginia. And it has 3 highways, Route 29, Route 32, Route 40, and Route 24. And Ohio has all 4 of those highways. And it's located in a state that has sales tax. Either that or Odyssey has a city tax. Okay, so it could be Ohio, or it could be Illinois or one of those states. I don't know. It would also make sense, seeing as the 2 ski resort episodes, because if it's somewhere more southern, there's no ski hills, sadly, there. In case you don't know, I'm a big skiing fan, and I literally know all ski hills in the US and Canada. Okay, that was uncalled for on my part. It's another one of my hobbies. I should start a skiing podcast. Okay, that is so off topic now. Okay, why did I get onto this rant? I should just roll the promo.
Eugene and Katrina are trapped in the very prison that was used for Eugene's father years ago. A prison with a secret tunnel.
It is conceivable that my father escaped.
Eugene and Katrina become fugitives in the jungle.
I can't hear anyone chasing us.
But we have to keep running.
Is Eugene's father still alive? And how will Eugene and Katrina ever make it out of the jungle? Find out on the next Adventures in Odyssey.
Okay. I'm getting really tired of listening to that music. They use the same backing tracks for all 3 of the promos for Prisoners of Fear. I can't wait to be done Prisoners of Fear, actually. It's okay, I can't wait to move on to other parts, especially the top floor. Man, I loved the top floor, especially part 1. Okay, Anyway, I should get on with the episode. So we start the episode with really weird intro music, and I noted that down because I'm like, whoa, is that like a mix between African and something else? Weird intro music. No Chris, not even. And now, Adventures in Odyssey. It just like starts, and it's really weird. But okay, so we start. The first scene starts with Joseph, Eugene, and Katrina in a cave. If you recall last week, Joseph tried to sell them into slavery, basically. But then, what's his name? Aziz. But then Aziz, he's like, no, you're all going into the cave because you're all prisoners. So yeah. So Eugene's reading his father's journal, and he's like recalling many fond memories of his father. And he wanted his parents so badly, but he could never get them. And then he says that he was better knowing they were never alive. And he's like super sad because he still thinks his dad died in the cave-in. Which, spoiler alert, Eugene's dad is not dead. He escaped. But anyway, Katrina says that they seemed very compassionate and kind, which I think, yeah. I really wish we could hear Eugene's mother. Like, come on, she didn't have to die, but oh well. So then Yosef apologizes for him losing his parents, and Eugene's like, yeah, thanks, but you don't really seem that sincere because you just tried to sell us into slavery. Then Yosef says that it was his only chance of ever seeing his people again. Then Katrina feels a breeze or a draft, and then she finds a loose rock, and then she finds tunnel, and then she finds another cave. Okay, so Katrina feels the breeze, and then the breeze turns into a draft, and then the draft turns into a loose rock, and then the loose rock turns into a tunnel, and then the tunnel turns into a passage, and then the passage turns into a cave. And yeah, that was kind of my rant on that. We go to the next scene, and then it's Yosef, Eugene, and Katrina are in a part of dig because they tunneled their way, or they followed the tunnel, and they realize that they're on the other side of the cave. And so Eugene finds flash marks from explosives, and he concludes that his father caused the cave. That his father built this series of tunnels, and that he worked in it during his off time. Which, whoa, I guess. I mean, he probably had access to lots of mining stuff, but Eugene mentions that it took him a decade it must have taken him a decade to finish it. But if he had proper mining tools, would it? I don't know. Also, I guess he would have had to do it in utmost secrecy, So anyway, the gist of it is he's been working on these tunnels, and they lead to the outside. And so then he causes a cave-in, and everyone thinks he's buried underneath the rocks. But then secretly he just goes out of the tunnel. So basically they believe he's dead, and then they just move on. So they're on the other side of the cave-in. And then Eugene's like, he might still be alive. And yeah, he might still be alive, Eugene. So then we go to scene 3 with Yosef, Eugene, and Katrina in the jungle. So Eugene is exuberant. He's like, guys, okay, come on, we gotta search for him. And then Yosef is like, no, we can't. And he's like, oh, come on, I have a glimmer of hope. And then Yosef is like, you have hope, I don't. And Eugene's like, oh, come on, Yosef, and then Eugene kind of tells Yosef about God, and then he tells Eugene that God, and then he tells him about his all-powerful God, and Yosef is like, if your God's as powerful as you say, then your God can bring your father to you. And then Katrina's like, Eugene, he's kind of right, it is literally impossible to find him. It happened 3 months ago. So Katrina convinces them to go to the Ashanti village. And then we go to scene 4, the other side of the river. So Yosef has been leading them to the river. And then they're like, okay, this is great. Come on, let's go. And then Yosef is like, no, I'm not coming. And Eugene wants him to come and get his life back. And Eugene is like super persistent with Yosef. And then so Katrina tells Yosef that they'll convince Ashantis that the curse isn't real, and then they'll come back for Yosef. And initially, Yosef is like, really? You do that for me? And they're like, yeah. Like, you need to find forgiveness. Like, they'll forgive you. And then Yosef is like, I can't even forgive myself. Goodbye. And he just leaves them. And then we go to the next scene, and it's the other side of the dam. So they're on if you remember the last one, they found the modern dam. And so they're on the other side of Eugene, Katrina, and Gobir are on the other side of the dam. And so they reach the dam, and they're like, it's the dam. Let's go. And then Gobir comes out. He's like, no, you're not going. And he has like a gun, and Eugene's like, how untraditional. And then he tells them that he's the curse, and like he invented the curse. He and the Wolof built the dam, and now he uses it to keep the Ashanti safe with laser tripwires. Which I'm like, whoa, how? Well, no, I guess he got them from the Wolof tribe. It never really tells you how the Wolof tribe got all these. I guess Dalton Kern could have, That's the other American. It's Dalton Kern is Leonard Meltzner's foil, and he's like another archaeologist, but he's like a bad archaeologist. We'll cover him when we get into later episodes, like the top floor, which I cannot wait to cover. But for now, I gotta do this one. So he learned that people will believe what they want, and he takes advantage of frequent lightning to set fires, and then he blames it on them, and he's doing it to protect them from greed, because if the Ashantis knew what was in the world, they would want it, and it would destroy them. And Eugene's like, that's horrible. And then, he's like, yeah. And then Katrina's like, you're not giving like your people like the credit they deserve. And he's like, well, whatever. I'm not letting go of this. And then Gobir admits that he has done terrible things, but he can't let them go back to the Ashantis. And so he threatens to kill them if they cross the river. But then before that, so he threatens to kill them, and they both refuse. Like, he just says, like, leave, or I'm going to kill you, and they both leave. And they both refuse, which is like, guys, come on. Guys, you're both just about to die. Like, is it worth it? I mean, there might be other options here. Like, I don't know. For me, it's not worth risking like my life for this. I don't know. Oh well. Okay. Okay. So anyway, and then Yosef jumps on Gobir and tackles him, and they both run away. And so both of them are running, and then they get to like the rope bridge, and then they see Kwame. And so Kwame thinks the curse is over, and they're on the other side, and he's gonna walk across the bridge because he doesn't know about the laser tripwires. And then Gobir comes, and Kwame's like, "Oh, Dad, you're on the other side." And he's like, "No, stay there." But Kwame's like, "I'm coming, I'm crossing." And then Eugene tells Gobir that he has to tell Kwame the truth. And Gobir's like, "No, I am not. I'm telling him what he needs to know." And then she says, "You're willing to risk your son's life in order to keep this curse?" And he's like, "Quiet." And then Kwame's like, "I'm coming." He like says, "I'm coming" like 4 times or something. And I have it written down that he's kind of a plot device in this episode, in this scene. It's like, yeah. But he keeps persisting that he must cross the bridge, and Katrina tells him that he must tell Kwame. Oh, it auto-corrected my notes to Quasi. He must. Okay, so he must tell Kwame the truth. And then Gobir tells him part truth, that there isn't a curse. And then Kwame is like, "Okay, well, I'm crossing, And Gobier's like, no, stop. I did it. And then he like tells him like the whole truth. But then Kwame still crosses halfway. So e.g., he would have crossed either way. Like, well, I don't know. And then Gobier runs out into the middle of the bridge and just tells him like to hold on no matter what. But then like nothing happens and like no water comes. And they're both like wondering what happened. And so then we go to the next scene, and we're on the riverbank. And Gobier is apologizing to Kwame, and Kwame is deeply hurt by his father, what he did. And he tries telling Kwame that he did it for their own good. And then Eugene's like, so we can go back now? There's like no need for you to kill us. And Gobier's like, yeah, you can go back now. And so, and then Yosef comes, and like, Yosef is like, yeah, you mentioned laser tripwires, so I just happened to find them all and I tore them out. Which, whoa, laser tripwires are a small and hard. Well, I guess if they're near the bridge, but then, wait a second. This doesn't make sense. Okay, so let's go back for a second. So Eugene and Katrina, they're at the dam, and Yosef tackles Gobier, and then like they run away, and then presumably Gobier, like Yosef runs away, and then Gobier runs after Eugene and Katrina, and then Yosef goes to the other side of he runs to the other side of the dam and runs back to like the start of the bridge. Oh no, maybe okay. Oh no, or unless if the laser tripwires are near the dam, and that's like where because the laser tripwires may still be it just might be the cable that's connected to like the opening, the what's it called, the dikes, or I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, so maybe if Yosef just goes to the dam, it would make sense. But if he could not have run back all the way to the bridge, like Kwame is at the bridge. Yeah, okay. So I guess Yosef just runs to the dam and like pulls out all the electronics in the dam. And then so nothing happens. So anyway, yeah. So, Gobier invites Yosef to come back to the village, and Yosef is like extremely happy at this. And then we go to the Ashanti village with Amon, and Gobier has just told Amon the entire truth, and Amon is very upset at Gobier. And then Gobier still he's like, I just wanted to protect you. And then she's like, no, you misjudged like all of us. And then he asks her forgiveness, and she says that she wants to see that he's sincere. So he has to help Eugene and Katrina find their way home. He has to tell the village what he's done, and then he has to replace himself as leader with Joseph. And he agrees to do it, like quite willingly. He's like, I will do it. And then she takes Kwame for a walk on the other side of the river. So then we go to Eugene and Katrina in the tent. And Gobier comes and he gives Eugene and Katrina a piece of the transmitter that he stole, and so that they can contact like someone anytime. And he's going to gather the village to tell like his story, what he did to all of them, because he treated them like slaves. And then he says he tried to be God, but he became a fool. And so Katrina tells him about the one God, and Gobier actually takes it quite well. And so then we go to scene 10, the tower. Kwame tells Eugene that he went to the other side of the river. Eugene never believed in the curse. And then Eugene finishes the tower, and it works, and there's like the unnamed radio transmitter dude. But Kwame's disappointed that he's leaving. Then Eugene tells Kwame that he's going home to look for his father. And then the final scene that we get is in Eugene writing down his journal, which, whoa, I almost forgot that. Like, he started it in a journal entry, but that was only at the beginning of part 1, and yeah. So he's writing down in his journal, and he and Katrina made it back to the U.S. safely. Apparently Roy Blasey got over his fear of the curse, maybe, the other American pilot. So they made it back to the U.S. safely. Then he looked into his father, but no one could help them. But he did discover that the mission board, the person who requested the mission board to send someone to the Ashantis, his name was, or his initials were LM. So the mission board sent him the request fax, which fax, I guess in 2005 faxes were still a thing. But anyway, the mission board sent him like the request via fax, and the signature of the guy who wanted the tower built was LM, and it was in his father's handwriting. And apparently he never forgot the Ashantis. So, yeah, that's Prisoners of Fear. Very good episodes. There are 3 very good episodes. Very adventure-esque. And by the way, it's in the Congo, not Zaire. That's a goof. I don't know why Marshall Younger made that mistake, but oh well, I'll forgive him. It was good episodes. I didn't really enjoy making a podcast about them, but oh well. Yeah. Oh well. Whatever. I think the reasoning that I didn't like recording these was just because I made it drag out so long. Like it's been like over a month. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed these episodes. Please give me an email at adventuresinto.odyssey@gmail.com. Still no emails yet. And yeah, thanks again to the Wadfem Chalkpud, Dylan Weaver, for giving me the advice on how to, grab the audio files from the AIO wiki. You're great, Dylan. Thanks. So I think that's all I have for this week. Yeah. I'll be back with the next episode of the Leonard Meltzner Saga, episode 584, Dead Ends. Yeah. See you guys, and have a great week.